this guy, Bryan Johnson, was recently asked if he fears death, if he has been doing all these sort of dramatic lifestyle changes in order to avoid his death because he is extremely terrified of death. But then his answer surprised me because he calmly said that he doesn't understand the emotion of fear. And this is the exact thing that you have to simulate if you have to get over your panic attacks. You need to unmemorize, you need to forget the emotion of fear in order to get over your panic attacks. Now, how do you do that? I'm sure I don't know how Bryan Johnson did that. I'm sure he's just lying straight out of his death, but it doesn't matter. But because today I am going to give you tools in order to forget the emotions of fear. Now, you have to understand that in order to forget something, you have to constantly remember another thing. Nature abhors vacuum. If you completely eliminate fear from your psyche needs something else to hold on to. And something else that you need to give to psyche is the emotion of empowerment, emotion of joy, emotion of gratitude. Imagine you're giving all of these three amazing emotions by selling away the emotion of fear. Is that not a wonderful transaction? Now, to do this remarkable thing, you have to understand one very easy principle. A Western mystic named by Neville Goddard has said a profound statement called imagination creates reality. Now, I don't completely agree with him because your imagination right now is really weak. It's really important, but you have to make your imagination very powerful. And in order to inject testosterone in your imagination, in order to make it very potent, you have to provide sensory vividness to your imagination. If your imagination has a lot of sensory vividness of what you can see, of what you can hear, of what you can smell, of what you can taste, of what you can touch, then that imagination becomes very, very potent. Now, what you have to do in order to get over your panic attacks is you first relax your body completely. And then, after you take about 10 or 15 minutes of just relaxing your body completely by placing attention all over your body simultaneously, one after one, what you have to do is visualize a scenario in your mind where you are living your life after all of your panic attacks and your anxiety problems are solved. You're going to imagine all the things that you're going to see after you are the person that you desire to be. You desire to be a person who is completely relaxed, happy, joyful, and empowered and confident. What are the things that you're going to see? Imagine that. Imagine what are the things that you're going to hear from people, your friends, your family. Are they going to compliment you? Imagine what are the things that you're going to smell. Are you going to smell coffee because maybe you're avoiding stimulating agents as of right now? Are you going to touch different people because now you're completely free from panic attacks and you might be interested in having a lot of romantic affairs? Are you going to do a lot of brave activities? How are you going to act? How are you going to walk? How are you going to act in gym? Imagine all sorts of things that you currently are avoiding because you're inflicted by panic attacks, and imagine you doing all of those things very confidently and provide a lot of sensory vividness to your imaginary act. Now, when you can provide sensory vividness to your imaginary act and you can completely immerse yourself in these imaginary acts, the act of mentally rehearsing these imaginary scenarios over and over again is going to physically change your brain. It's going to create neural networks, new neural networks in your brain. And if you mentally rehearse these imaginary scenarios enough times, these neural networks become permanent in your brain, and it's going to send chemicals down your body. And those chemicals are going to create a lot of feelings of joy, of empowerment, of confidence, and of gratitude. And those feelings are the secret. These feelings are going to breathe life into your imaginary act. You have already done this process. This is not something miraculous and new that I'm telling you, because at one point of your life, all of you guys have used this principle. For example, if you were ever a topper of your school, you first had to imagine that you were already the topper of your class, and then you provided a lot of sensory vividness to your mental image, and you felt that image to be true in your mind, and that imagination came to life because you had coupled your mental image with enough feelings. So I'm not pulling this theory out of thin air, because it's not. Everything that I can say to you right now has been said by countless mystics and yogis from the ancient days. So I've already said everything that needs to be said, but if you still want me to coach you one to one, then I have my Gmail information or my Viber, Telegram, WhatsApp information on my description box down below, and even in the comment section down below. You have to remember that sky is the limit once you truly know how to imagine correctly and how to infuse feelings in your imagination. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.